What's up, you guys? Today I want to have a discussion about multi-screwdrivers. This category has been gaining lots of popularity over the last couple of years just because of the versatility the screwdriver offers, both with tradesmen and people who don't use tools all the time. They just might want a couple hand tools and pliers just to keep at home. They want to be able to work on some stuff or fix some stuff around the home. They don't want to go out and purchase 8 different screwdrivers, but they just need one screwdriver that's going to do it all. And so that's what I really wanted to discuss today. As an electrician myself, I always find that whenever I'm going to troubleshoot something, I need a couple screwdrivers I could just keep on me. I'm going to be away from my tools. I just need one thing. I find that I'm grabbing that multi screwdriver and I'm going to go do the task, because if I try to pick the 1 or 2 screwdrivers I think I'll need, we all know how it's going to work out. We're going to end up picking the wrong screwdriver for the job and have to walk all the way back. So I want to discuss some of the ones that I've been using and why I like them. I want to start off with the German Wera brand screwdriver. This is made in the Czech Republic. I really like Wera tools. I think they make high quality products. So I went out and purchased one of their screwdrivers. It has a really cool concept like no other one I've really seen before, where it has a push button at the back over here. You just push a button and out comes all the different bits for storage here. You just take whichever one you want, click it back closed. Then it's got a little trigger here. You press, it releases the one in there. You simply just press it back in, release the handle. This opens again, you put it back right in, and you're ready to go. That's really nice. The other thing I like about this one, it has this little click button here. You could press this green tab down and it will release this over here, which gives you a bit of extra length if you're trying to go inside a box or some tight spaces. And then if you click it one more time and just pull on it, it will actually release, and you could take this right here and you could actually insert it on a drill itself. So if you're out on a job and you just have your drill and you don't want to carry all your bits with you, this is nice for that too. You could put it on the end of the impact and just go right at it. So I really like what they've done and the engineering on this one. It's almost over engineered is my issue with it. The other couple other issues that I have with the Wera and the negatives with it is that it's actually really wide, if you could see here, compared to, I'm going to show you the Klein one over here. If you could get that on camera, if you could see how wide of a diameter that is in comparison to the Klein. Sometimes when I throw this in my pocket, I just feel like it's a bit too wide and it's kind of uncomfortable to have on me for a full day. So for that reason, I kind of see myself, I usually reach for another multi screwdriver. And the other problem I have with this one is the price. It's the most expensive screwdriver out of all the options that I have here. It's just above 50 bucks US. Sometimes, and most times, you can find it on sale for 20-30% off. But even with the discount it offers, it's still the most expensive option from all of these by far. That really makes it hard to recommend for people who aren't using this every single day. They're probably going to keep it in a toolbox for a couple of months at a time. It's hard for me to recommend something that's so expensive. But if you are someone that does use tools often, it's something to look for out there. The next option I want to discuss was the Klein. A lot of electricians, a lot of people out there are familiar with the Klein. It's a US brand. Most of their stuff is made in US. I'm not really sure if this one is made in US. I know they've been outsourcing to China more and more over the years, but I think this one in particular is made in the US. This one here is an 11-in-1 screwdriver, as opposed to this one here, I believe gives you the ability to store 8. It's an 8-in-1 screwdriver. Oh, I should say as well, the one thing I do like about this one is that if you do lose your bits here, you could easily replace them. They're really cheap to replace. So if you do lose one, it's quite cheap to replace on the Wera, as opposed to the Klein. It almost has a proprietary system where, see that little dot there, that's what really holds the bit in place. And it does a good job at that. It does hold the bit in place really well, but as you can see, it just comes out of the tube like that. The problem with it is if you do lose this, then you don't have the ability to buy this separately. You have to actually buy the entire screwdriver all over again. And that goes with just these little parts here. So I don't know about you guys, but most times I'm probably gonna forget a tool somewhere, especially if I'm really focused in on my work. I got a couple of tools hanging around everywhere. I'm probably gonna forget a small piece somewhere, and that's gonna make the rest of the tool almost useless to me. But it does work really well, and it's really comfortable in the hand, so I do like it for that reason. It does come with Robertson 1 and 2, I believe a 1 and 2 Phillips, a couple Torx, and a couple nut drivers in there to make it the 11 and 1. So people who like the Klein will always go for the Klein parts, and it is a reasonable price as well. I think it comes at around $20 or maybe just under $20. You could probably find it on sale. So for that reason, I can say this is, I do really like this one. And my final recommendation, which some of you might not expect, is actually a Canadian-made brand, Pickwick. This one here is actually Pickwick. If you go on their website, they actually claim to have the patent for this technology, where it's really simple. It just magnetic holds it in there. The tolerances are great. I've never had any issues, and I've had this maybe for 5-6 years now. And you just take the bit, you've seen this before, you just kind of slide it out. The new one comes in and you just put it in there and away you go. I really like the resistance on this. Like, it's a perfect amount of resistance. I've used the Milwaukee one, which has a similar system to this, and the Milwaukee one, I really had to just jam in towards a wall to try to get this thing out of there, and it was just hurting my hands every single time, and I didn't like it whatsoever. This one is perfect amount of resistance. And it's done good for me over the years. The other aspect of this that I really like, other than the fact that it's Canadian made, is the fact that it comes in at the best price over all three of these. It's actually below 20 bucks. Most days you're gonna find it around $15. And much like the Wera as well, if you lose one of these bits, it's not the end of the world. They actually do sell it separately, and it's not gonna cost you an arm and a leg. So for that reason, I do like this one quite a bit. I know there's a couple other multi-drivers for sure out there, and everyone's got their favorite. I've tried a multitude of them, and these are just the ones that I like. But in terms of picking the one that's right for you, it probably comes down to your personal needs. If you're an apprentice and you're looking to just grab a couple tools, start off, you're not really even sure if you want to be in the trades for too long, I'm definitely going to recommend the Pickwick for you, just because it's about less than a third of the price of the Wera. So it's going to be cheap, and it's going to do everything that you need. And as well, if you're just someone who wants a home kit, just a couple tools, they're not going to be using it too often, but they want to be able to fix things around the house that are broken. Again, the Pickwick's going to be the way to go for you, right? The Klein I also do recommend as well, but maybe for someone who's going to be using the tools more often. If you're responsible though, because as I said before, the big thing about this is if you're losing a couple of your bits, you're going to find yourself out of luck. You're going to have to buy yourself a new multi-driver. So if you're responsible, then go with the Kleins. And the Wera, which, believe it or not, is one of my favorite brands in tools. And I usually would recommend the German tools above all the other brands. It's a hard recommend for me because I just feel like it has more moving parts, and even though it's done well for me, I've had it about for 2-3 years now. Only known issue is just a little crack here. You could see, I hope that comes out on footage. It has more moving parts, so something to keep in mind. Something could go wrong with this, as opposed to something like this is just so simple and versatile that it's, no matter how many years this screwdriver is going to be with me, if my bits get rounded tips because I use them too much, it's simple, probably a couple dollars just to replace the tip, and off you go. So that's what I got, guys. Leave a comment below with your favorite multi-tools, and maybe I'll go out and try a couple other ones. I know the Weha as well have a different system as well. You kind of push a button, releases, has a little spinning piece. You could store 13 bits inside them, so I've wanted to try that one as well. The Milwaukee, as I've mentioned before, I tried the Milwaukee. I did not like it whatsoever. The other problem with the Milwaukee, I found that it was always moving, and I've tried a couple different models of theirs, and a couple of my coworkers who have the Milwaukee, and so much movement on that. The tolerances were no good. It was so difficult to get the bits out. I personally can't recommend that whatsoever. But leave a comment below on what you think and what your favorite multi-driver is. We'll go from there. Have a good one, guys.